Hi, Tammy.
Hi, Belinda.
It's good to see you.
No, it's good to see you and thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. Thank you for being on with me and the Perfect Child Collective. I'm going to start with your bio.
Okay.
As a licensed acupuncturist for over 2 decades, Tammy has stepped into her intuitive call for deeper knowledge into true healing. She has come to understand that true healing takes place on all of the physical, emotional, and spiritual dimensions. She has included cranial sacral work to enhance the physical and emotional dimensions for those who need it. And for the past year, probably a year and a half, has been leading dream builder workshops to help people to heal emotionally and spiritually. Tammy believes that everyone deserves and is capable of living a happy, healthy, joyful life.
I do.
You want to add anything to that?
No, it's like I think you captured it all. Like I like to keep it really, really simple. So I know that I'm here to care for people, and my goal is to just support people to living a healthy, physically, emotionally, and and having a joyful, adventurous life. Yeah, just have fun.
Yes. And, having gone through the Dream Builders program with you, that's so true. It does connect us emotionally and spiritually. I think what I love most about Dream Builders, and I know that you don't really love to say that it's transformative because it's not meant to be transformative per se. But for me, I did feel transformed and more so empowered,
Mhm.
empowered to be connected to a source that is greater than myself.
Yes. Mission accomplished. Woo! Great
Right.
job. Great job. Yeah.
I think we both sort of had the same experience when we did Dream Builders, right? Because you'll tell your story, but when I did mine, when you came to us and presented the Builders program to us, I jumped on because I was like, yeah, why not? You're doing it. I'll take it. And you know me, I've always been a happy-go-lucky person, always happy. I
I
feel like life has always been very sort of positive for me. And but then after doing the Dream Builders program, getting that to a place where, oh my gosh, like, yes, all day, joy all day, every day, because I see joy in everything. When I drive, literally, I think Dylan gets so annoyed with me because all day long I'm like, look at how beautiful that mountain looks over there. Oh, look at the clouds today. It looks so beautiful. She's just like, yeah, 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 mom, whatever. But it's that. And I attribute that mindset to Dream Builders,
Dream builder. Thank you.
right?
That
Because
yeah.
how did you come upon it?
I come upon it actually when I was like actually the Dream Builder program itself was forced upon me by my beloved sister, who discovered it because she's going through like a crossroad in her life, and then she was like, oh, that was awesome, and of course, lovingly she wanted to share it with me. And then for me at that point, I just wanted to support her. Initially that's how I went in. And then she was like, oh, we're gonna fly to the East Coast to go to their seminar and enjoy the time over there. I'm like, why do I have to fly, and then hotels and everything? And I was like, okay, but my mom is going, so I wanted to go spend time with my mom too. So I said, okay, I'm in, count me in. And literally 3 days passed. I was like, whoa, what was that? And I'm like, I arrived, at their seminars feeling like, my life was in a good place. I felt like I was doing okay. I have my family, I've got my business, and then blah, blah, blah. But at any rate, after going through the program, I'm like, oh, okay, now I understood. I was in a survival mode
Hmm.
versus like the thriving mode. So
Yeah.
I have come to a point in my life where, I felt things are like quote unquote under control, quote unquote manageable. And I was like, as a Buddhist, like I have always heard you must be grateful for what you have. And the way I interpreted that is like, you don't need more. And it's like you don't need to strive for more. just be okay with what you have. And so in, in understanding that and living by that philosophy, I'm like, I was in a pretty good place.
Yeah.
But after that, after the workshop, I'm like, okay, they asked me, what would I love? They asked me all these questions and I started thinking, I'm like, oh, I have a lot of answers. And they were very different answers, that I thought, that I would come up with. And I'm like, there's much more to life and it's okay. It's okay for me to strive. It's okay for me to want more, but not in a greedy way, but wanting more is like just to express the gift that I came here with. And it's almost like by expressing my gift, that's where my mission in life lies. So it went hand in hand. So I was like, okay, this is really good stuff. And then I was tying what I was learning at the Dream Builder seminar to my practice. So I have an acupuncture practice, like, and it's not just acupuncture, it's like esoteric, it's energy work, it's about healing deep within. And I'm like, a lot of my patients got to where they were when they came to see me because of a certain mindset and the previous program that they have been running for decades and decades.
Yes.
So yes, they come to me, initially, most of them, it's like on the physical level, there's some type of physical pain. And then, we would work together and then they would get better and then, they'll come back again. And then I'm like, I'm so honored that they trust me and they love coming to me for sessions and stuff like that. But I'm like, there is something that needs to shift.
Mhm.
And I was like,
You're saying that because they continually come to you with the same ailment, physical pain, and you're seeing that if they were to shift their mindset, they wouldn't need to continue to come to you for that physical pain.
no, not for that same physical pain. Like, for example, some people, they're angry with a certain family members for like years and years. And so when they come in, they said, I have a pain right here, like, in my heart or in my shoulder or, in my neck. And then, how do you connect the two together? Well, I'm like, I have been treating your neck for quite some times. And every time you come in, this is like the same problem that you're sharing with me. And I was like, what is in your neck? And then when I do the cranial sacral work, and then we dig a little deeper, it's like, the experience that I have with this person, I have interpreted and stored it as a pain, and it's in my neck. And so how do you get rid of that? How do you release that? And initially patient is like, I can't release that. That's like a history in my life. That's like an experience, that has been stored. And that's a part of me. And I'm like, yes, it's a part of you if you want it to be a part of you. And you're the one who put it there. So therefore you can also take it out. So
Yeah.
like things like that, I learned, after the workshop, like this Dream Builder program, it's like a program that has taught me a different language. And they label it as a language of success. But for me, it's like a language of success and joy and happiness.
Yes. Well, that's what real success is.
Yes.
Joy
Yeah.
and happiness.
Yes. From deep within.
Yes.
And everything else in your circumstances is just like the bonus. It's just like the overflowing, So I feel like, as you say, you feel more, you feel more happy, more joyful, and you feel like empowered. And that's because, our source of power is from within.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not outside. And so, but then because how we were raised, or like socially, the we call it the common programming of planet Earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm experiencing this because of that.
Right.
It's everything is on the outside, your circumstances, or is what dictates how you feel on the inside. But through the Dream Builder, it's like a different language. No. Let's take a look at that.
Yes.
You're the one who interpret
Right.
what you encounter. You're the one who interpret what is in your surrounding. And once you interpret all that is around you, you store it as a feeling or as an emotion, and then you store it back inside, and that's
Right.
how you quote unquote feel.
Right.
And how we feel affects our barometer of happiness. How we feel affect our health, the physical health.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. We always hear like stress is not good for you. Stress is not good for you. And this is, yeah. And what is stress? It's all I use stress as like an umbrella term. So that includes like anything that makes you constrict, anything that weighs you down, anything that makes you feel like you're sinking, or anything.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I and another thing that you also learn, in the Dream Builders program is that sensation, to
Yes.
pause and recognize the
Yes.
sensation of constriction
Yeah.
as opposed to expansion.
Yes. Yeah. And like I feel like within this program was created by Mary Morrissey. She has been um building this program, over like 40 years of experience. So it's not something that people just recently put together. And so, I trust.
Mhm.
I trust her. I trust the amount of time that she has invested and then have like tried it out. So this program, it's repeatable, it's reliable. And so it's like, so it's a system that takes people like on week 1 all the way through week 8. And then we take a look at all these little pieces of like a jigsaw puzzle. And then we pick it up, and then we get to evaluate, we get to take a closer look, bring our full awareness to it. And then we get to put it back into like a picture. And so to me, it was helpful because Mary has studied, so many from so many different teachers. And then she kind of like picks like the main things, the essential things, and then she puts it in this program. So before, I was reading so many self-help books,
Yeah.
on like how do you say the power of attraction, this and that, the law of attraction, this
Yeah.
and that. And I feel like I love reading quotes, from like the our teachers,
Yeah.
and they were all helpful, and I love them. But Mary put it into this program, so it's all in one place, and you get to connect the pieces as well. How is it like how does it connect? How does it play with one another? How do they overlap? So you get to play with it, in this 2 months of life that we're together in the program.
Yeah, I
So
think that is a great way to describe it, because when you do look, when we do read self-help books, it's like they're in sections. They're, targeted to a certain
mhm,
topic, whether it's, attraction for relationships or attraction to
yes,
money or this, that, and the other.
yes,
Whereas, as you were saying, in the Dream Builders program, it's all sort of like a whole vision of it. And you know you have exercises
mhm,
and stories that you tell within the program, where when you engage with it and actually practice it, daily, and meditate on it, it all comes together because
it
it's
all comes
literally
together.
the whole
Yes.
picture.
Yes. And, like from the moment when people sign up, I said that, you have taken the first step to committing yourself. Like we have to commit ourselves to doing something, so that we could put our attention and our focus on that. Because there's, our daily routines, it's filled with so many little things. But once you sign up for something, you're just like, okay, I'm committed. And then it's also you're working with another person, so that person is helping you hold I say accountability.
Yes.
Okay, this is your time. And I said like, this is it's like a very powerful and much needed gift for the individual, because I wear so many different hats as a practitioner, as a mom, as a wife, as a daughter-in-law, blah blah blah, the list goes on.
We all do.
It's like, yeah, right? We all do. Everybody has, different hats. And I'm just like, okay, since I have committed to this program, this is my time. And
Yeah.
then I'm also able to like, I tell my husband and my kids, like, okay, I have a class at this time, once a week. And I have a little bit of homework that I do every single day. So I just let them know, and they respect it. And, I carved out the time for that. And it's like, wow, for 20 years, I never really got to sit down and have this time with myself.
Yeah.
I was so busy trying to get somewhere in
Right,
life.
right. And
But
because you wear so many different hats, I think I just came across some quote or saying by someone that was saying, you know, we wear so many different hats. And also on top of that, there's so much external media, whether it's sports, entertainment, you know, education, whatever, that we don't actually know who we are.
Mhm,
You know, we're never, you'll never know who you are unless you actually sit down and A, meditate,
mhm,
and B, take this, take a step to, if you need help to learn who you are,
mhm.
right? It's this Dream Builders program.
It's
Not
like
only like recognizing who you are, but also how you thrive, how you expand your gift in this world. Because I believe that everybody comes to the world with a gift to give, and maybe even like in your case it's multiple gifts, right? And because you took this Dream Builders program, you're like, oh yeah, I acupuncture is not just the only box that I need to be in because I'm an acupuncturist. There's
yeah,
multiple ways that we can give of ourselves.
right. And it was through this program I really understood what it means by label, like
Yeah.
label and labeling, right?
Yes.
So yeah, for so many years I wore this label as an acupuncturist, but today I don't see myself as an acupuncturist. I
Right.
see myself as like a practitioner who supports people in,
Yes.
getting
In their
well
own
and,
healing.
in their
We
own
all
and
don't
they
do any
lead.
healing
No,
ourselves.
no, no, it's not about me. I tell my patients sometimes they come in and I start talking and they're like, huh? I'm like, it's not about me. This is about you. So you tell me what you need. And
Yes.
they're like, but you're the expert. I'm like, I know, and I take cues from you.
Yeah.
I want to hear what you need. I want to feel what you're like. A lot of times I pick up a lot of information through my hands when I start, the palpations or when I start my energy work. And I said, it's not because I'm an expert, but it's because I get to tune in and you allow me to tune in and your body is giving me that information.
Yes.
And
You
that,
too can
I
tune in.
go, yes, and I go with that flow.
Yeah.
I don't do anything. I don't do anything to you. It's
Right.
just like I'm here to support, and then your body heals itself. But
Yeah.
I'm just there to help it hold the space for its healing. And sometimes it just needs a little reminder.
Right.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And so like,
Go ahead.
yeah, so I mean, we were like talking about all like so many different things, but basically, yeah, like the Dream Builder program, it's just 8 weeks, and then it's kind of like I was having this picture when I was preparing myself for our talk today, and this picture came up last night, and it was like I'm on a little island, and it's a nice island. I'm content with it, and then suddenly I was like, I want to see what's out there. I
Mhm.
had this longing, I would like to see what's out there, and then I focused on a little island a little further away, and it's got something that my island doesn't have, but it's like it looks adventurous. It's something like I can learn something new, right? And then so that's like how in the Dream Builder you define your goal or you define your dream,
Mhm.
right? And then it's like I designed it too because I'm like I look at so many islands, but this is the island that I want. It has what I want, you know to explore. And then the next thing was like, okay, I see the island. I know where I am. So I've got to point A and point B. Now I've got to build the bridge,
Yeah.
And I think this program is like, it helps us, it gives us tool to build the bridge going across. And in the end, I will enjoy how to say that one island that I'm aiming for. But at the same time, along the way, I'm going to learn how to build a bridge. I am going to learn these magnificent views that I get while I'm crossing the bridge.
Yes.
And there's so many things that's happening while I'm building the bridge. And so this Dream Builder program um, will help me learn the tools and helps me become aware of like how rich this experience can be.
Right. So it's enjoying the journey as opposed
Yes.
to just the destination.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, after this program, I'm like, oh, so my destination, of course, it's important because it helps me set directions,
Right.
right? So we say like, there's no favorable wind, to a sailor that has no destination, right? No wind is favorable to, yeah, a sailor that has no direction. So, and it's like, okay, but then the journey itself, that's the cool part. And once you learn how to build one bridge, life goes on. This is a life force. It's not just a one dream you have. I hope not.
Right.
It continues until your last breath is taken, right? And hopefully we have many, many dreams that we get to explore and fulfill and enjoy. And I feel like these little islands are like, they're great destinations, but that's not what it's about. It's like
Right.
being able to land on that island is like a bonus. But
Yes.
it's the building of the bridge, the people I get to meet, and like how many
Right.
times can I build this bridge, with
Yeah.
how many
Yeah.
friends? Yeah, and
And
so
also another thing that I want to note about the dream builders is, going back to that analogy of the island, having that, writing that island down as the goal, but also trusting that now you've written it down, it's in there, it's in the universe, and the universe conspires with you. So it's not like, commonly people will say, oh, there's that island, but I'm never going to get there. I don't have a boat. There's not a person in sight. It's never going to happen.
yeah.
Right. And so you basically just shut down your dream. Whereas when you take this course, you understand that you can put a dream down and it will happen. And you don't have to focus on the nitty gritty and what you have at hand now,
No,
because there's a vast amount of everything out there that we are not familiar with. We don't know. And we can tap into that.
yes, abundance. Yes, there's so much like to be tapped into, and it's enough. It's enough for everyone. And like when you're saying like, there's that island, I need a boat and I don't have a boat, blah, blah, blah. It's like after you have this new language, you're like, okay, I want to go to that island. And then I'm going to tell the universe that's where I want to go. And I have complete, trust and faith that whatever I need,
Will
I can
manifest.
manifest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can manifest. The universe will manifest it for me. And I will have a boat. If I need a boat, if that's what it takes, I
Yeah.
will get it. The boat will come to me. It will
Yeah.
show up.
It will literally be like, okay, after you put down that dream, then 3 days later, a big piece of driftwood will, come up on shore, and you'll see it, and you'll let it sit there. You'll sleep on it for a few more days. And then all of a sudden one day you'll be like, oh my God, I can use that driftwood
Yeah.
to either start a bridge or start a boat. And then you're like, oh, all right, let's go look at it and let's think about it. And then a couple more days later, something else comes up that you can, I can use this as a knife, or
Yes. Yes.
that's how it happens.
Yes. Once you become aware that there's opportunities anywhere,
Yeah.
then you'll start seeing it. But if people's like, no, I can't do this, then you probably won't be able to do it. Like Henry Ford, if you say you're right, you're right. If you say you, I mean, what is it? Me and my quotes, right? If like whatever you say, you're right. So if you say you're right, you're right. If you say you're wrong, you're also right.
Right. Right. Right.
You learn if you need something that you cannot make yourself, you ask for help. It's totally, absolutely okay.
Right.
It's like you get to utilize all the
Mhm.
tools that are there.
Yes.
Sometimes the universe doesn't hand you the end product. They hand you pieces so that you get
Of
to learn
course.
along. Yeah,
Because it's about the journey. It's
yes,
not about the
yes,
end product. What
yes,
kind of
yes, yes.
satisfaction will we get if what we wanted happens right then and there?
No, no. Yeah, it's like, when I was younger, I started my first job when I was 13 at an ice cream store, right? My first pair of shoes that I bought from that money. I mean, I still remember it until these. It was like purple boots,
Yes.
a pair of purple boots that I wanted to shred. And it's like it was so different from like the previous pairs that I got from my parents. Not that I wasn't grateful, but it had a different meaning.
Of course.
And that's how I want like to raise my children, like as much as possible. I just don't hand them stuff. Like we try to make things together, or like I help them plan, and I
Yeah.
use a lot of this language that I learned from Dream
Yes.
Builder to assist our communication.
Totally.
So yeah, I have many parents who come through the program, and they're when once they leave the program and say like this is not just for you.
Yes. I
And
love
so
that you said that, because then, yes, as a parent, or even like as a new parent or a parent of a toddler, right? When your child starts to sort of recognize will and exercising their will,
Mhm.
this is a great program for the parents in two respects, because mothers oftentimes will lose their dream because they have a child,
Yeah.
right? And this will help you maintain your dream and also help you with language to help your child thrive. So then you're both thriving.
Well, well said. Thank you so much for putting it together so well. Yeah, because like as mothers, we got to keep our dream alive because that's our life force. And you cannot give what you don't have. And like I have seen many examples where a mother said a mother feels like, okay, with this hat on, I must sacrifice.
Right.
We do what we can, and we do we do what we feel is best. And if that is the mentality that is behind it, a lot of time you will also rake up some resentment that you'll carry with you.
Yes. And the child will
They will
feel
feel
it.
it.
They'll
They
feel it
will
and they'll know
feel
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
And by
will.
the way, might I mention, you know, um, if you are that mother that has sacrificed for your child, that's a choice that you make. We all
It
have choices. So if you're not
is.
happy with that choice and it makes you feel constricted, then you're gonna have to change into a different choice.
We have to shift the help shift the perspective.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like, we don't work with circumstances. We work with the mindset and the perspective. And then we will experience life differently. We will store them differently. And then we will feel that there's like the world is really big. It's not, it's not, we don't feel as constrictive as we used to feel.
Right.
The
Right.
world, like the doors are open, the windows are open. And
Yeah.
it's up to me whether I want to poke my head out the window or open the door and walk out.
Yeah. We're not confined by our
No.
circumstances. I think that's the thing that Dream Builders teaches, is that we're not confined by our circumstances.
And it's so important because it makes like it increased the quality of my life in the sense that I don't I feel happier. There's not there's like I used to put a lot of pressure on myself, right? And it's like, why? Now
Right.
it's like, I'm doing my best and I'm going to enjoy my journey because I want to show my kids, how to enjoy life. I want to and I yeah, but like the main thing is like I want to be happy because being what I am will be the best lessons for my children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's no coming out of the Dream Builders program, I feel like you get a perspective of yes and meaning it.
Mhm.
I think uh, as far as me as a parent, um, you get a lot of my initial reaction oftentimes when my child says something like, can we do this, it's a no, or nah, I don't know, like it's just kind of like programmed in me. If it's really expensive, no, blah. But now it's like yes, yes, we might not get it tomorrow, but yes, because what we want, and if it's for the greater good, which it always usually is, then yes, why not? Why not? Nobody puts up barriers to what we want except for ourselves.
Yes. We do have,
So,
yeah, we do have the final say. We have the
yeah,
initial say and we have the final say.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to mention the quote that you have on your website, which, by the way, your website is ascensiontime.com,
Yes.
right? That's
Ascension
where people
time.
can reach you.
Yes. And time as in THYME, ascension time.
Yes, yes. So you have a quote on your website that reads, enlightenment is not an achievement, it is a homecoming.
It is a homecoming. Yes.
Talk us through that.
Because like growing up as a Buddhist, we feel like, oh, we gotta like I don't know. This is just a personal
Fire.
interpretation. Yeah. It's like if you chant, if you meditate, if you do follow, certain like criteria and standards, it's like, you're going, that's your goal. You want to become enlightened, like after, you do all of this and you
Yep.
must do all of this. And that's like how I grew up. Right. But I think after this program, I feel differently. Enlightenment is like when I'm in the space that I am connected to me.
Yes.
And when I'm in that space, there's no past and there's no future. There's only present. I mean, I'm still working at it on a daily basis. Sometimes I meditate for 5 minutes and I get only like maybe half a minute of that real connection, but that's okay. It's a journey. So it's like when I'm in that space of coming home, that is enlightenment. It's not something that I'm trying to get from outside. It's something
Right.
that is like,
Yes.
come back home. We are the being of light. Actually, I really like that word enlighten or enlightenment. That word light within the word. Because
Yes.
we all believe, I think, for some people, like deep down inside, they may not know it yet, but we are all being of light.
Yes.
And so we just
Absolutely.
have to connect within,
Right.
to stay connected to that light that is
Right.
within you. That's
Right.
enlightenment.
Right.
With the homecoming. This is our home on this planet Earth at this moment. This is
Yes.
this is the physical home, and then within ourselves, like the spiritual home. That's the one that we get to take with us when we have to change houses.
Yes.
So yes,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, because we're all enlightened beings.
yes,
We're all enlightened beings, and it is a homecoming. And going back to, taking dream builders as a parent, this is how it'll help you to parent in a way where your child doesn't need to shed away the layers to maintain their sense of enlightenment.
hmm. So I feel like they're much closer to, they're much closer, or they're still, like pretty pure.
They maintain their,
Yeah,
yes,
they're like they just came from the source.
that they walk this earth as source.
Yes, and then we help them preserve that because we don't like we can be the person who helps them become aware that the social norms and this and that, it's there, but it's not something that you have to carry, that you
Right.
have to take in. You
Right.
can process this on your own and you take in what makes sense to you, and
Right.
you be you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like a you
You don't
be
need to be
you.
defined by any labels.
No, we don't. And then we, as much as possible, we remind ourselves that we're going to operate from the foundation of love, of kindness, and like just humanity, like human connecting
Humanity.
to human. Yeah,
And we also don't need to fit ourselves into any boxes.
we
We can
don't.
always create our own path.
We don't. Yeah, yeah. It's like it's so free, like
Yes.
having that mindset, and being able to shift, because you know I'm in my 40s, so I have been running with this old program for many, many decades. So sometimes it still slips in, of course. But
Oh,
then the
same.
thing is that I'm actually aware. I'm
Yes.
like, hey, 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 back.
Yes.
Okay, Tammy,
Yes.
think about this. Think this through a little bit. Take a breath. So
Yes.
all these, we practice also in Dream Builder.
That is another
So,
thing that comes
yeah.
out of the Dreambuilders program, and probably reading it and everything, is the awareness. It's actually, living each day. Sure, we'll have our ups and downs, and
Mhm.
I'm still who I am. I'm very
Yeah.
sarcastic and very fiery, but also having that awareness of moments where this happens, and to be able to look back, reflect,
Mhm.
and and change,
And choose again.
be different, but just that awareness is key, so that we can actually walk through our lives being conscientious beings, conscientious and conscious of our actions and our choices. And that goes into how Dream Builders talks about, we only have one life to live. Are you
Yeah.
going to live it by design or
Or by
default?
default. Yeah.
Default, just now after coming through this program, is just not acceptable.
It's not in our dictionary. Nope. Yeah. I've got to put my spin on it,
Yes.
so yeah.
Yes. I mean, I'm so glad that we had this interview today so that people can learn about dream builders and contact you. And I love that, the classes are one-on-one and
They're
there's
one-on-one. Sometimes I have groups, but right now I'm dialing down to one-on-one. I really want to hold the space so that people can just like it's a space for discussion, for like opening up, and it's like it's a sacred space where
yes.
both will grow. I will grow as a guide. I call
Mhm.
myself a guide, and then the other person will really have time to tune in,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's where everything gets started. You have to tune in. Yeah,
Yes.
it's not outside, it's inside. So
Yes. It's
uh,
so worth the 8 weeks of your
it's
life, no
yeah.
matter where you're at. I don't care how old you are, what
Mhm.
life circumstance you are, male, female, it's a
People
gift.
from all walks of life, yeah, with
Yeah.
different career path, everyone can use this, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had like taken it much earlier, but
Mhm.
that's okay. There's like there's like how you say timing for everything, and it this one will ties in with what I'm here to do. And so the universe said, "Yeah, okay, you got to pass your 40 before you take this class." Okay too. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that too. So but I feel like these days when I listen to my daughter, my oldest daughter, she's 15, and she's very mature for her age, and a lot of times like we'll sit down and we'll talk, and I can hear her using the dream builder language. So it's like I'm like
Wonderful.
hmm, I'm like, okay, this is worth every second, every penny, whatever, all the investment. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so I feel like how can I not, it's like it's almost like for me knowing what it is, and yeah, having experienced it, it's like it's not even a choice. It's like a given that I have to take this because it enhanced my life in a way
And
I
you
could.
have to share it with the world.
And I would love to share. I'm here to serve. I know I'm here to serve, whether it's in my clinic. And I use a lot of this, what I learned in the Dream Builder program with my clients now, and I can apply it seamlessly. While the patients are doing the receiving the energy work, we're working together. I can like talk to them, and I learn to listen from this program. I'm becoming a better listener, and so I can actually hear, and then like we walk together, like we just like after we tune in, it's like holding hand in hand, holding each other's hands, spiritually, energetically, and then like we walk together and we discuss. And then sometimes I find like the dream builder language pops into my head, and then when I use it, I feel like it gets things done. Like
Yes.
Mary have already concentrated it, she had already filtered it for me. And then for me right now, I'm just learning like when to insert what, at the appropriate moment. And I am having so much fun. And like my patients, sometimes they walk out and they're like, what was that? Like they
What
feel
was
relaxed, but
that?
at the same time their mind is like, oh, that was a different way of thinking. Sometimes they often tells me that's a good way of thinking about this topic. And I'm like, yes, there are many options, and we can we all could explore that. So,
Yes. So neat. That is so neat. Do you think that that people, if they're in your neighborhood, in Torrance, Redondo Beach, South Bay area,
mm.
would it be helpful if when they take the Dream Builders to also schedule an appointment with you for acupuncture and cranial sacral?
I think it would be, how you say, I'm gonna say from a marketing side, it would be like, it would be like great business for me. But what I'm gonna say is that when we go through the dream builder, and if you have a lot of emotional things that you have been storing inside, and there's different level, I call it the different level of storage. sometimes if I can assist people, while having the physical contact, it works so much faster.
Mm.
I sometimes memories are stored in muscle fibers, sometimes it's stored in certain organs, and like, when we do the cranial sacral and we do acupuncture, we can like um, be very direct in the access. And at times when I'm giving these sessions, people are in a little bit different state of mind. We go to a very quiet and peaceful state so they could actually see very clearly. And then when we're in that space, people like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that I store this, you know, in my shoulder or in my liver, or I don't know. It's like up, they tell me where they store it, and then like we get to talk about it. So the healing part becomes like even deeper
Yeah.
and faster.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
quickened because it's very direct. So yeah, if um, the listener, people who are listening to our interview, if you guys would like to contact me, please do. And if you have questions, um, my phone number is on my website, get some information there, and then you guys could text me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to contact you is texting.
Texting is the best.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes my voicemail get filled up so fast. And so
Yeah.
can't keep up with that one, but texting is right there. And I can see
Okay,
it.
great. Fantastic. So we'll have your website up on our website,
Well, thank
and then they can
you.
contact you, and we'll have this interview up soon as well. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
I just want to wish everybody who's listening to this interview, an awesome, awesome day. And, may the light be with you always, always.
Yes, because it's already in you.
It's already in you. Yeah, you just have to like connect with it.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you so much.
Speak with you
Okay.
soon.
All right. Take care. Bye.